Thank you. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem and Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Every day we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Cadet Quinn, please lead the class and our guests in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order! Arm!
Thank you. Thank you. Be seated. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Macomb Police Academy Class 111 graduation ceremony. My name is Mike Shermatero, and I'm the training director of the Police Academy. Good morning, class.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
One more time. Good morning, 111.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Thank you. I hope you had a good evening and you're doing well. We'd like to echo that throughout the building at the PSI. It's a tremendous occasion because you're graduating from the Police Academy and because we get to have our graduation here. When COVID hit, we were doing our graduations in a classroom, and they were virtual. But it's a blessing to be here. We appreciate the support of the college, the administration. Over 120 days in the academy. You're here before 7 o'clock each day, and you don't leave until after 4:30 every day. You stand at attention every morning for inspection, and you march everywhere. On the day that I told them that they were done, they typically still have a hard time not marching everywhere and straying from the area of the building. Over 770 hours of training, over 60 hours of training in law, over 100 hours of firearms training, and over 70 hours of subject control. And all this training is not on just how to shoot a gun, it's not on how to engage in subject control, but we emphasize decision-making and de-escalation techniques. So there's a lot more to it. Then we bring all this together with over 30 hours of scenario-based training. And we teach them to crawl, we teach them to walk, and we teach them to run. Step by step, we want them to become the best police officers that they can be. There were untold numbers of hours of homework. And in the beginning of this thing, you wondered if it would ever end. And I told you the days are going to drag, but the weeks are going to go by quick. And they did. And you did it. You, your families, your friends should all be very proud of this accomplishment. And let me be the first one to say, congratulations, you did it. Nice job. Let's begin. Pastor Friedman will now provide our invocation. Pastor?
There was a time I used to get out of cheers much quicker. To Class 11, I would like to echo the sentiments of Director Shermatero. Congratulations to you. Last 17 weeks, I've enjoyed being one of your instructors, your chaplain, and at this point, your friend. I will ask for those that are here, the families and the friends, if we could just bow our heads for a moment of prayer. Dear Lord, we are so thankful to you on this day of honor, this day of ceremony. to celebrate this class, Class 11, 111. These brave men and women who had heard the call to protect and serve, to protect those they do not know, to serve those that they have no clue who they are. We're so grateful, Lord, for their dedication and their commitment to the field of law enforcement. We're grateful for all that they have done over this past 17 weeks. Lord, all that they have learned. We're grateful for the career path that they have now chosen. We continue to pray for those that are in uniform today, that starting immediately they will begin their journey into this wonderful field, or as some have called it, noble profession. For those that are yet in pre-service, Lord, yet still searching, background checks are being done and investigations, Lord, are being prepared as they are ready and now trained to enter into this field. We ask that they find favor with the departments that they desire to go to, and that very soon they will also be in uniform. We're grateful for the families, the parents and the grandparents, the husbands and wives, the children and grandchildren that have allowed their loved ones to enter into this field and dedicated their time to education and learning. We ask that you continue to be with them and let them know that you are with their loved ones as they now protect and serve in the various communities in which they will serve. We're grateful for the administration of this college. We're grateful for every instructor that has not just taught, but emptied themselves into these young men and women. Lord, not only do we pray for them, but we pray in law enforcement in general, that our communities and citizens will understand just an important role that they play. I ask that with their families as well as themselves, that they know that you are with them every step of their journey. We pray that they spend whatever time they spend in this field in enjoyment, in professionalism, in appreciation, and grateful that they are able to stand in the gap between anarchy and peace. We pray for every law enforcement department everywhere and every police officer everywhere. We thank you for this college, for its support and participation in this wonderful field. We love you and we appreciate you. As we say thank you for in your name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Pastor's teaching at the academy today. We have a corrections academy going on. So we ended one and we started another. So thank you, Pastor. I'd like to acknowledge our guests. President James Sawyer, Provost Donald Ritzenhein, Macomb Community College Trustee Christy Dean, our Dean of Health and Public Services, Nareen Mirjanian. He could not be here today, but he did address our cadets, our Director of the Public Service Institute, Michael Lopez. Mr. Greg Scott, our Academy Coordinator, Chief David Teskey, Richmond Police Department, our keynote speaker, Chief William Levins, Macomb Community College Police Department Chief of Police, and our MCOLS representative, Matthew Krumbach. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge some of our staff from the Academy. Again, Academy Coordinator Mr. Scott, he's been here many years, and many of you in this room know him. You've been taught by him, and I can't express enough appreciation for all he does around the Academy. There's a lot of police officers and a lot of law enforcement influenced by him. Thank you, Mr. Scott. Administrative staff member Stephanie Rolder, she's our new administrative assistant. Our Chief Range Officer, Lead Firearms Instructor, Tom Ostrowski. Our Lead Subject Control Instructor, John Rude. Our Lead Physical Training Instructor, Frank Schuler. And our Legal Curriculum Instructor, Yuri Fedorek. And finally, all of our Academy instructors. You bring life into the Academy, you bring life into that classroom, and you guys do an excellent job. I also want to thank those who keep our building operating. Our custodial staff member, June Nixon, and our maintenance staff member, Brian Genuine, and all the other people who keep that building working. We have a lot of moving parts in that building, and we couldn't do it alone, and I appreciate them very much. Thank you. I'd like to have a moment of silence for those law enforcement officers and criminal justice professionals who lost their lives serving our community, as well as the victims and families of Oxford High School. Please, just a few moments. Thank you. I'd like to welcome Dean Mirjanian, who will now provide remarks. Dean?
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Very good. Good morning, everybody. And on behalf of Macomb Community College President Dr. Sawyer, Vice President of the Learning Unit Dr. Ritzenheim, and the Board of Trustees, I sincerely welcome you to the graduation of our Police Academy 111. Dear guests, it is with pride that I share with you that these graduates will become police officers in Macomb County and surrounding communities. So congratulations, graduates. You have completed the transformation from an ordinary citizen to a law enforcement officer. You have passed all the hiring segments, survived the physical and mental training of the academy life, sacrificed a lot, and successfully arrived at this moment in your life. You're entering a profession of law enforcement. I want to thank each and every one of you for your service and the sacrifices that you will make as you answer the call and undertake this most strenuous but noble path of law enforcement. As you start your duty, remember that courage is a trait that many speak of, but not many possess. As quoted by Winston Churchill, courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees all others. You graduates have courage. You have chosen this noble path. You chose to be that special person who will preserve the law and protect others. As you start your service, you will be learning new skills that will be keeping you and our community safe. Remember, your education does not end here, and you should take this opportunity to increase your knowledge and skills while on the job. Your education from Macomb Community College and the training that you will receive on your job is the beginning of a long journey. Accomplishments, small or large, are only possible because of those who support, guide, and care for us. I would like to take a minute with the cadets this morning to acknowledge those key individuals. Graduates, I'm going to ask you to stand and face the audience. Take this moment to acknowledge those key individuals that have helped you achieve this milestone in your life. Thank you to your families and to your friends for their support, motivation, and patience. With their support, you graduates made it through the academy life. They were with you before you started this academy and will continue to be with you while you're on the service, watching over you and making sure you are safe and taken care of. Thank you, family and friends. Graduates, can you turn and face the stage, please? Your achievements today is also grounded in the contribution of those who understand law enforcement and are committed to educating the new generation of men and women that will keep this community safe. Let's acknowledge your faculty. These officers have given back to their profession by teaching and mentoring our students, you, our graduates, through your educational experiences. I would like to take a moment to thank Training Director Shimatero and the Director of the Public Safety Institute, Mike Shimatero and Mike Lopez, for their outstanding leadership and support of this academy, for working countless hours to create a safe environment for you, our students, during a global pandemic so that you can achieve your goals. Thank you, cadets. You may be seated. We have all been challenged with times that were certainly unprecedented. While the virus and the pandemic has upended lives for nearly everyone, healthcare workers, firefighters, law enforcement officers have had to face more risks than most. First responders had to make difficult choices while at their workplace. They have selflessly dedicated themselves to serving others. As other professionals were told, tighten up your mask, sit 6 feet apart from another human being and avoid crowds, you cadets were taught how to use personal protective equipment and to be ready to rush in where people needed you the most. Today, we have arrived in that moment in time that marks your readiness to serve. You made it. You have just completed the Police Academy, a training program that exceeds the state of Michigan mandated training curricula required to enforce the general criminal law in the state of Michigan. You have graduated from a program that produces superior police officers. Be always proud of that. I personally challenge you. I challenge you to be excellent in everything that you do. Always give your best. Work hard, demonstrate integrity. The Police Academy at Macomb Community College has provided a solid base from which you can soar to great heights. Life is full of many challenges, and the world we live in is far from being perfect. But I have the utmost faith in you, class of 111. I believe that you will make this community a better and a safer place, and that you will be shining examples of professionalism. Always be proud of being a police officer. In closing, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change this world. You now have the educational weapons from the Police Academy at Macomb Community College to do just that. Advance, explore, and have a safe service. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Dean. Please welcome our keynote speaker, Chief David Teske of the Richmond Police Department.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Academy staff, and members of the graduating class. It's an honor for me to be invited to speak to all of you today. I sat in seats like those from my Macomb Police Academy 81-1. For those of you trying to do the math and run out of fingers and toes, that was 41 years ago. This academy introduced me to some infamous instructors, John Bruins, Thaddeus Mera, Ron Cherf, and after graduation, those FTOs that said, son, sit over there and don't touch anything. The families that don't know what FTO are, you will hear those words, those letters a lot in the coming days. The task bestowed upon me today is to give you, the graduating class of 111, in a short amount of time, some piece of advice, words of enlightenment to start you down this path of your chosen career. As a person who's worked in public safety capacity for a very long time and worked virtually all the ranks and assignments, please indulge me and allow me a few moments to pass on a few thoughts and observations that I accumulated over the course of 4 decades. This is a lifestyle choice. No other profession I know affects so many aspects of who or what you are about to become. Once sworn in, you will be given the statutory authority to take a life as circumstances dictated, deprive someone of their freedom, or affect people's lives in ways that you can only be imagined. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Warren Burger stated, "It is often overlooked that no public official in the entire range of modern government is given wider discretion on matters dealing with the daily lives of citizens as is the peace officer." Think about that for a moment, and then think about that responsibility each and every day of your career. This is a profession that on your very first day of the job could be the worst day you ever encounter as a police officer. You need to make sure you are prepared. The Academy has given you the physical skills and the book knowledge to perform at the highest levels expected. This is your formal education. Now, you will couple that with your informal education or your street creds that you only get from experience. You have been taught how to talk the talk, and now you'll be learning how to walk the walk. But there is another huge aspect of this job that we don't always devote enough time to once you graduate, and that is the mental and emotional component needed to be successful. You need to have this screwed on straight 24/7. As your career progresses, I can tell you that one of the biggest challenges that you will be faced will be in your own mind, and that is your attitude. It will become easy to feel unappreciated and slighted. You will see this in officers who become cynical and disillusioned over the years, but that is their choice as it is yours. Some famous once said, attitude is 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm just telling you it's completely in your hands. So how do you prepare for this mental aspect of being a police officer? You start by asking yourself some really tough questions, most of which I pray you've already done and have answers for. How will you use your gifts? Will I cave to peer pressure? What choices will I make? What kind of friends will I keep? Will you bluff it out when you're wrong, or will you admit it and say so? Will you be clever at the expense of others, or will you be compassionate? Will you be a cynic, or will your attitude be positive and a role model? My words today to you, if you take nothing else away from this, is get it right. Please get it right. Do not bring shelf to your or our profession. We have all heard the stories and seen the headlines of those that had the public trust and got it wrong. They just got it wrong. Character isn't inherited or learned in a book. It's something duty issued. It is built every day by how you think, act, thought by thought, action by action. Character will see you through some hard and difficult times. Character will allow you to admit when you've made a mistake and will give you the resolve to stand tall and face the bad influences that could damage you or your agency. Character will set you apart as a leader, regardless of any rank you may have attained, and character once lost may never be regained. The best news, however, is you don't have to do this alone. Just like everything else we seem to use in law enforcement these days is technology-based. There is an IT tech support system available 24/7, and that is your family. Throughout the years, it has become very apparent to me a key element for us in law enforcement, if we wish to have a productive and satisfying career, is a supportive and understanding family. They were here before you attended the academy. They were at your side as you trained here, and they will be here long after you hang up your guns. Never let this job consume you, and always find time for them. And to the families of the graduates, I ask you to be loving and supportive. They will not always show the emotions they feel, and parts of their lives you may never understand. They will know, but need to be reminded from time to time that you are there for them. Be firm with them, and do not let them get too full of themselves. However, there is work to be done, effort needed to make this happen. You and your family are partners and share equally in this responsibility, no different than your soon-to-be patrol car partners. My final orders to each of you are to conduct yourself with honor. Remember that you create your own reputation each and every day, with every action and every word. I have a posting on my office door. It's been there for quite some time because I strongly believe in its message. It says, the name on your badge says who hired you. The name on your nameplate says who raised you. Represent them both with honor and integrity. Finally, we find ourselves asking these days, what's wrong with police work? The problem is there aren't enough people like you sitting in those seats. It's not their fault, because they do an excellent job of preparing those that do show up. Not the families who support you, not the police chiefs and sheriffs who have done everything they possibly can to entice new officers. But there's a reason why MCOL says there's over 163 agencies in Michigan looking for police officers. The question that we should be asking are these, and I'm directing these right at you. If this is a profession and you won't advocate for it, what will happen to it? Who will serve? Who will protect the innocent? Who will be the sheepdogs? A recent study across a section of police officers asked these same types of questions and the usual answers, but the most alarming for me was that only 11% of the officers would recommend policing as a career for a son or daughter. If we don't advocate or sell this profession, even to our own families and friends, what does that say about this profession? We either believe in it or we don't. I pray to God that you do, as we are walking advertisement billboards for everything that is right about this great profession. I have spent 41 years doing this very same thing. I have 4 kids. They are all police officers and deputy sheriffs, and I'm very proud of each of them. So in closing, I pass this torch to each of you. Carry it high and with passion, and tell anyone that will listen that you are the guardians, and be damn proud of it. Thank you, and may God bless.
Thank you, Chief Teske. At this time, I'd like to invite Deputy Dylan Nabosny to the podium. He'll recite the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to me or to my agency. I will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed, both in my personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the law and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature or that is confided to me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I will never engage in acts of corruption or bribery, nor will I condone such acts by other police officers. I will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. I know that I alone am responsible for my own standard of professional performance, and I will take every reasonable opportunity to enhance and improve my knowledge and competence. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
One of the first things that the recruits here at orientation is the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, and one of the last things at graduation is the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. It is a very important part of the Macomb Police Academy. Next, I'd like to present Macomb Police Academy's, at this time, I'd like to show a brief video of our academy put together by our graphics department. Please enjoy this video. So the end of that was the gauntlet. They get sprayed with OC, and then they have to fight their way through punching, kicking, and then at the end, that dummy on that device is called a cuff man, and administration, college, we were able to purchase that, pull that down and cuff them, and it's to build that confidence. So I'm happy to say everybody stepped up and got sprayed in the face. It's brutal. Next, we'd like to present the Academy's Achievement Awards. Those of you receiving awards. The first award is for academic excellence. This award is presented to the cadet who achieved the highest academic score in the Academy. There are 18 examinations administered throughout our Academy, and this doesn't include all the hands-on skills testing. Our top academic standouts: Officer Tara Alcas, by the way, feel free to cheer loudly. Deputy Kevin Kornman, Officer Gabrielle Parrish, Officer Matthew Reeves, and Cadet Wadowski. Class 111's Academic Excellent Award goes to Officer Matthew Reeves with an academic average of 92.17%. I'd also like to acknowledge the class and its 100% success on the MCOLS licensing exam. You see, you can pass the Academy, but if you don't pass the licensing exam, you don't get to be a police officer. Everybody passed. Our top emergency vehicle operations driver, our EVO top driver. This award goes to the cadet who had the top overall performance in the emergency vehicle operations training. 111's top EVO driver, Cadet Wadowski. He was issued a traffic cone, too, by the way, as a trophy. So he has a trophy. I heard it's in a glass case at his house, though. Next is our Top Gun. This award is presented to the cadet who distinguishes himself or herself through the highest score in the firearms qualification course. Throughout the Academy, the cadets receive rigorous training in firearms, and as I said, over 100 hours. Our top finishers: Officer Scott Boucher, Officers Matthew Bell and Matthew Reeves, and Class 11's Top Gun Award goes to Cadet William Quinn. Our next award is for physical excellence. This award is presented to the cadet who was selected by our training staff and fellow cadets. He or she stood out among the cadets as a hard worker, displaying a drive to accomplish and overcome all physical challenges. Like I said, our cadets receive over 70 hours of training each academy. They must still, at the end, show improvement. So you don't get to sandbag on this. You have to show improvement at the end of the academy on our final physical test. And again, blessed and proud to say, everybody passed. Class 111's Physical Excellent Award goes to Cadet William Quinn. Will those cadets who are receiving scholarships please move stage left? Thank you. Next is the Academy Director's Outstanding Leadership Award. This award is presented in recognition of the outstanding leadership provided by our platoon leader, Cadet William Quinn. This award has been requested to recognize our platoon leaders' outstanding leadership and dedication to the Academy. Cadet Quinn was the go-between for the cadets when questions were needed to be answered or if anything popped up. It has been a pleasure working with Cadet Quinn. I'm very proud to have known him and worked with him. Please accept this award, sir. The next award is the M. Coles Outstanding Performance Award. This award will be presented by our M. Coles representative, Matthew Krumbach. This award is based on the cadets' leadership, interpersonal communications, and appearance as voted on by the Police Academy. Class 111's M. Coles Outstanding Performance Award goes to, the cadet does not know who he is, Officer Matthew Reeves of the Marysville Police Department. Next are our scholarship awards. The first one is the Stephen Thomas First Responders Scholarship, sponsored by the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union. People helping people is the philosophy of the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union. As a community credit union, MSGCU believes strongly in support of first responders in our communities. This scholarship will provide financial assistance to Macomb Community College cadets enrolled in police and fire academies at Macomb Community College. This year's recipient is Deputy Kevin Kornman. Our next award is the Police Officers Labor Council Richard R. Wheeler Police Academy Scholarship. On August 13th, 1993, Richard Wheeler started the union organization known as the Police Officers Labor Council. Subsequent scholarships were awarded by the POLC through the Law Enforcement Education Program to prospective public safety candidates to continue their education. Now, in his honor, in an effort to assist future public safety candidates, the POLC established this scholarship. This year's recipient, Officer Dustin Johnson. Those of you who will be participating in our changing of the guard ceremony, if you would, make your way up into the wings here, and our administrative assistant will greet you. Thank you. The next award is the Joseph A. Blanke Memorial Scholarship Fund. This scholarship honors the memory of Joseph A. Blanke, an alumnus of the Criminal Justice Program of Macomb Community College. This scholarship provides financial assistance to cadets in the Macomb Police Academy. This year's recipient, Deputy Kevin Kornman. Our next award is Officer Robert L. Brown Memorial Award for Academic Excellence. This scholarship was established in memory of Officer Brown, who attended Macomb Community College and worked for the Dryden Township Police Department until December of 1999, when he was killed by a drunk driver on his way home from work. Officer Brown loved his job and earned many Red Ribbon Awards from the Mothers Against Drunk Driving for all the countless drunk driving arrests that he made. This year's recipient, Officer Dustin Johnson. Once again, congratulations to all of our award winners. Next is the changing of the guard. The Macomb Police Academy has a tradition called the changing of the guard. This tradition allows our cadets to acknowledge the influence a person has had on their decision to become a law enforcement professional and to formally thank them. It is a symbolic transfer of leadership and responsibility that reflects on our commitment to faithfully discharge the duties for generations of law enforcement professionals. First, Officer Tara Alcas and close family friend, Sergeant Robert Rose of Wayne County Sheriff's Office. Cadet Erin Owen and her husband, Deputy David Owen of the Macomb County Sheriff's Office. Officer Matthew Bell and his grandfather, retired Chief of Police Gerald E. Crossley of the Madison Heights Police Department. Officer Lindsay Crowd and close family friend, Officer Steve Carroll of the Hazel Park Police Department. Officer Danielle Feld and her father, Sergeant Joe Feld of the Chesterfield Township Police Department. Officer Christopher Mosher and his chief, Chief David Teskey of the Richmond Police Department. Deputy Dylan Nabosny, and his father, retired Lieutenant David Nabosny of the Hazel Park Police Department, and his brother, Officer Shane Nabosny of the Roseville Police Department. Officer Gabrielle Parrish and her uncle, Corrections Officer Dominic Gabriel of the Macomb County Sheriff's Office. Officer Matthew Reeves and his brother, Officer Justin Reeves of the Marysville Police Department. And now the moment you have worked so hard for over the past 124 days and have patiently been waiting. The presentation of your training certificates. Like I said, feel free to cheer as loud as you can. Officer Tara Alcass, Royal Oak Police Department. Cadet Sebastian Amerla. Cadet Aaron Owen. Officer Matthew Bell, Madison Heights Police Department. Officer Scott Boucher, Wayne Police Department. Officer Alexander Bourgeois, Royal Oak Police Department. Deputy Kevin Kornman, St. Clair County Sheriff's Office. Officer Lindsay Crowd, Roseville Police Department. Cadet Brendan Ecker. Officer Danielle Feld, Chesterfield Township Police Department. Cadet Ryan Fitzpatrick. Deputy Joshua Gunter, Macomb County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Bradley Honeycutt, St. Clair County Sheriff's Office. Officer Dustin Johnson, Warren Police Department. Officer Cameron Krasuski, East Point Police Department. Officer Shane McMahon, Warren Police Department. Officer Christopher Mosher, Richmond Police Department. Deputy Dylan Nabosny, Macomb County Sheriff's Office. Cadet Dmitry Nikolov. Officer Gabrielle Parrish, Clinton Township Police Department.
Let's see that smile.
Nice job. Cadet William Quinn. Officer Matthew Reeves, Marysville Police Department. Deputy Andrew Smith, St. Clair County Sheriff's Office. Cadet Robert Wadowski. and Public Safety Officer Derek Wood, Grosse Pointe Shores Public Safety Department. Thank you. Once again, congratulations. Nice job. You've now graduated from the Macomb Police Academy, and you and all those that supported you should be extremely proud of your accomplishment. I want you to know that I am personally thankful you're graduating. As I've told you, my wife and I have prayed for you every morning and every night during this academy. And we're glad you made the choice, and I look forward to seeing you back at Macomb. I want to hear about all your successes. I'd like to thank the law enforcement agencies sponsoring our cadets in the academy, those that have hired our cadets, and those in the process of hiring our cadets. Sheriff Anthony Wickersham in the Macomb County Sheriff's Office, Commissioner William Dwyer in the Warren Police Department, Sheriff Matt King in the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office, Chief Ryan Monroe in the Roseville Police Department, Chief George Roheb in the East Point Police Department, Chief David Teskey in the Richmond Police Department, Chief Corey Haynes in Madison Heights Police Department, Chief Dinah Karingi in the Clinton Township Police Department, Chief Thomas Connick in the Marysville Police Department, Director Kenneth Wierenski in the Grosse Pointe Shores Public Safety Department, Chief Ryan Strong in the Wayne Police Department, Interim Chief Mike Moore in the Royal Oak Police Department, Chief Ken Franks in the Chesterfield Township Police Department, Chief Scott Cervello in the Clawson Police Department, and Chief Frank Nastasi of the Troy Police Department. Thank you. As always, I want to give a heartfelt thank you to our staff and our instructors who work to ensure this academy graduated. Running the academy is a team effort, and I know you keep hearing that, but remember, no one stands alone, no matter where you are. How you get there is always a team effort. Thank you to our Police Academy Advisory Committee. Your support helps make this academy outstanding. It's important to know that there are a group of chiefs that sit on our committee that help with the decision-making, and all the chiefs that allow their staff to come to our academy and instruct. Their staff brings instruction to life through their policing experiences. And finally, let me thank Macomb Community College and the administration. The college and its administration have continued to support the Police Academy and the Public Service Institute since the pandemic occurred. They have worked hard and tirelessly to make sure we have all the equipment, funding, and room to grow and do everything we need to do during this time. And we continue to produce great academies and great people. I want to thank them. And let me end this once by saying again, congratulations to the cadets. One last time. Does anybody have anything for me? Good. Cadet Quinn, please dismiss the academy one last time.